The best podcasts picked fresh for you. This is Podcast Pick on East Coast Radio.
It's our first one.
Yay.
I like it. The podcast pick. Can I go first?
Of course.
Okay. I'm picking patented history of inventions.
Ooh.
I've always loved this. Even when I met my my good friend Captain Kirk, and he said to me, we miss out on these modern inventions. Little things like, did you know that the lighter was invented before the matches? Funny little things like that. And also, it's a modern invention. Like 1,000 years ago, if anyone had a lighter like we just hold in our hands and in our kitchens and whatever, that would change their worlds completely. So in this podcast, host Dallas Campbell investigates the curious history of inventions and innovations. Did Thomas Edison take credit for things he didn't actually invent? What everyday items have very surprising origins? And would man have ever got to the moon without the bra? Huh. And he does it all with the help of experts, scientists, and historians.
Fish and chips. Have it with gravy, with a side of mushy peas. Yes. Smother it in tartar sauce or curry sauce. No matter how you enjoy your fish and chips, you can't deny it. How unbelievably British the dish is.
What you got?
I am picking ridiculous crime, by the way. I love a crime story. I love a good crime story, especially a South African crime story, because, you know, our crime stories are just outrageous.
Yeah.
And true crime is more than just blood, guts, mayhem, and murder, so it's not gruesome. But Darren Burnett and Elizabeth Dutton share outlandish tales of capers, heists, and cons that shine a light on the absurd and outrageous side of criminality. And the best part is it's always 99% murder-free and 100% ridiculous. Have a listen.
Fantastic.
As the U.S. economy hit the skids in 1893, Goldman kicked her show into high gear. She gave really stirring speeches, and in one, she pushed the crowd to take what was theirs. Quote, "If they do not give you work, demand bread. If they deny you both, take bread." The authorities thought that she was inciting the crowd to riot, and she was arrested.
Okay, so those are those are two good podcasts. And now our guest podcaster, we're going to do this every week. Our guest podcaster will share their pick.
My name is Ncebakazi Manzi, and I'm the podcast manager for Sub-Saharan Africa at Spotify. My podcast pick is a wellness podcast called Wisdom and Wellness with Mpumi Ledwaba. This is definitely one of the hottest podcasts on Spotify at the moment, and I absolutely love it. Within each hour-long conversation, Mpumi somehow manages to get people to really share about their successes and failures, and I always feel like I've learned something that I can apply to my life. Wisdom and Wellness with Mpumi Ledwaba is available on Spotify.
There's also a frequently asked questions section where you can send your questions to breakfast@ecr.co.za. Like this. Catherine wants to know how she can start her own podcast.
All you need to start a podcast is a smartphone, an app like Spotify for podcasters, which lets you record, edit your podcast, and even add background music. When you're done, you simply publish to whichever platform you like. That's it. So starting a podcast does not have to be an expensive exercise at all.
That's Podcast Pick.
The best podcasts picked fresh for you. It's Podcast Pick on East Coast Radio.